Sir, you gave testimony about a shooting on Cluett Street involving Albert Hardy. That's number 6 on the list. Correct, sir? Yes. And I just want to ask you about some of the details of that shooting. Okay, sir? Yes. Prior to your testimony, sir, we had some people come in and testify. Objection, Judge. Objection sustained. Okay. Let me show you something on the screen. Okay, sir? All right. It's an exhibit previously marked. Do you recognize? This is a Google Earth map of Cluett Street. Do you recognize this as the location where Albert Hardy was shot? It could have been. I can't really remember the location like that. Like that's just something I have locked in my brain. Okay. Do you recognize this stoop right here with this house, sir? Objection, Judge. No, sir. He just testified, and it's kind of hearsay. It's got the writings of another witness on it. I'm not asking. He's just asking about the picture itself, but he says he can't identify it. Objection overruled. Sir, can you identify anything in this photo, sir? If you can, great. If not, then I'll move on. Just let us know. The only thing at the bottom left corner is a 1100 block of Cluett. Why does that ring a bell to you, sir? Because I went to elementary school on Cluett Street, and I used to live on Cluett Street. Sir, do you know if the shooting involving Albert Hardy, in fact, occurred on the 1100 block? I can't say that's the 1100 block. I wasn't keeping up with the numbers like that. Okay, but that wasn't my question. My question is, do in fact you know that the Albert Hardy shooting occurred on the 1100 block? Judge, I'm going to object. I just gave you the answer, sir. Objection sustained. Sir, don't argue with the lawyer. I'm sorry, Judge. I told him not to argue with you. Oh, okay, thanks. Now, in your testimony in response to Mr. Rainier's questions, what you did say about the shooting of Al Hardy, we can agree that, based on your testimony this morning, Al Hardy was shot somewhere on Cluett Street, right? Yes. Okay. Now, in connection with Mr. Rainier's questions, what you said was, if I understood it right, to get to Cluett Street, you took a right on St. Claude. Is that right, sir? I took a right off of St. Claude. Off of St. Claude. Onto Cluett Street, right? Yes. And then also you said in terms of shooting that my client, Jasmine Perry, shot all the way to Claiborne Avenue. Did I understand your testimony correct, sir? Yes, sir, while Saul was driving, and we had done pulled off from the scene and he was still shooting. Okay. So, sir, I'm going to put another map on here. Hopefully we can agree just on geography. Sir, do you see where I put the little X right here? That's basically the intersection of St. Claude and Cluett Street. Yes. And you're familiar with that area of town, correct, sir? Yeah. Okay. And can we also agree, sir? I'm going to put another X. I'm going to put this as X number 1. Are you okay with that, sir? Yeah. Are you with me? I'm going to put another X number 2. Alright. And, sir, do you agree with me that X number 2 indicates the intersection of Cluett Street and Claiborne Avenue? Yes. Thank you, sir. James, I think I can give you all my exhibits back. I would like to offer, file, and introduce into evidence as Jasmine Perry Exhibit 7, the map we just had on the screen. Any objection? No objection. Any objection from any defense counsel? Hearing no objection, let Jasmine Perry Exhibit 7 be admitted into evidence. Let me give James my exhibits back before I lose him. Thank you. A couple other questions about the shooting involving Al from Cluett Street. Sir, as I understand your testimony, you were the driver that day? Yes, sir. And you were driving a Toyota Solara? Yes. Was that Solara a convertible or was it a T-top? A convertible. Convertible. Was it a 2-door or a 4-door car? I don't really remember, man. Because pretty much the guy, if you wanted to get in the back, pretty much you could hop in the back. I can't really remember if it was a 4-door. It was probably a 2-door car, right? Probably so. Convertibles. I don't think they make Eldorado convertibles anymore. Convertibles, Toyota Celeras, are small cars. Correct, sir? Yeah. Now, I understand that this particular car was a car that Rabbit had. Is that correct, sir? Yes. I also understand that before you all ventured out onto St. Claude and ultimately to Fluid Street, that Rabbit was in the car. Is that correct, sir? He was, but he jumped back out. Sir, is it your testimony, sir, that you were in the driver's seat, correct? Yep. Sir, how tall are you? 6 feet 7 inches. How much do you weigh? Or how much did you weigh back then? I can't give you no direct size. How much do you weigh now, sir? Do you know? No. You're a large man, though, right? Yes, sir. And I think you indicated on your direct testimony that Pooney, who's Curtis Neville, who's seated over there, was in the passenger seat that day on Fluid Street? Yes. And you said you liked Pooney because he had a good sense of humor and he was tall like you. Is that correct, sir? Yes. Do you know how tall Pooney is, Mr. Neville? No, I don't know how tall he is. 6'3", 6'4". Does that sound about right? If you say so. I'm asking you if you know. If you don't, I told you no, sir. Okay. All we know is that you think he's tall and you're 6'7". Correct, sir? Asked and answered, Judge. Sustained. So, initially when you got in the car, according to your testimony, you and Mr. Curtis Neville were in the front seat. Correct, sir? Yes. And Rabbit and my client, Jasmine Perry, were in the back seat? Yes, at first, yeah. Then Rabbit got out of the car. And why did Rabbit get out of the car? Because a guy he was interested in doing some dealings with or speaking with, I don't know. When he saw the dude, Ken, he hopped out the car. He said, you all go. Do you know Ken's last name? His name is Smothers. And is that the only reason Rabbit got out of the car, to the best of your recollection and knowledge? Yes, sir. So, based on your recollection and knowledge, Rabbit didn't get out of the car because Jasmine Perry was saying, I'm going to go on a wild shooting spree? No. Okay. This day, when you testified that Jasmine was in the back of the car, sitting in the back seat, did he have dreadlocks? No, sir, not that I can remember. As far as you know, Jasmine Perry has always had short hair. Yes. You mentioned earlier in your life you wore dreadlocks. Yes, like around 2004, 2005. So, you didn't have dreadlocks in 2011? No, I cut them in 2010. Okay. You cut your dreadlocks in 2010? Yes, sir. And you testified on direct that, hold on. Let me just get this picture back. I know you don't know it, but I just want to make sure I understand what you said. I'm just trying to get an orientation. I know you don't recall this block. But so, if you were in the driver's seat, you would have been on the left side, sir? Yes, sir. And Mr. Neville would have been on the right side, on the passenger side? Yes, sir. And Mr. Perry would have been in the back? I can't say. You point on the back of the left side behind me. Oh, I'm sorry. He would have been in the back seat. That's my question. Was he behind you or behind the other guy? No, he was behind Pooney. So, he was the backseat passenger side. Yeah. And when Rabbit was in the car, he had been backseat driver side. Yes, sir. Okay. And you said that on that particular day, you fired a weapon? Yes. And what weapon did you fire? The .40 caliber. And I understood your testimony was you fired your weapon out of the passenger door of the car? Yes. So you didn't fire it out of the driver's window or driver's door, right? No, between Will's legs when he was standing on the back of the car. So you shot up through the convertible? I'm trying to understand. I didn't. You know, I'm chained, so I can't describe how I was. It's like he got a feet on the back seat. He got a feet on the hood of the car. I mean, the trunk of the car. And I'm shooting between his legs onto, porch. Shooting to a porch like this one, even though you can't say for sure if it was that one. I can't really remember if that's the same porch or if they painted the house or what. Were you able to spot Al Hardy that day? Did you know what Al Hardy looked like? No. And so, as I understand your testimony on direct examination, you opened fire because you saw someone standing next to who you believed to be Albert Hardy. You thought he was going for a gun? Behind Al Hardy, on the porch. Okay. And is that who you were firing at when you were shooting underneath Jasmine's legs? Yes. Do you know if you hit the individual who was on the porch behind Albert Hardy? I can't say if I hit him or not. Did you ever open the door that day of the car while the shooting was taking place? No. So as I understood your testimony, you drove to the location. Albert Hardy is identified. You hit the brakes. Gunfire erupts. And then you take back off going towards Claiborne Avenue. Is that generally correct, sir? Yes. Do you know how many rounds you fired that day? Whatever they had in the .40 caliber. You emptied the clip? Yes. Any idea how many bullets were in the clip that day? No, sir. And all the bullets you fired were fired between Jasmine's legs? Yes. Give me 1 second, Your Honor. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.